Okay, I have to talk about this in a video because there's just so bloody much of it. I was sat there happily minding my own business, playing Peggle before the Game Awards, which I thought might be what I would be making a video about the next day, but no, nothing really got announced there that I didn't either already know about or care about, apart from Elder Scrolls Online, the Tales from Oblivion or whatever that's called. That looks really cool, by the way. But no, about an hour before that, and then a little ways through the Game Awards show, but about an hour before that, I was just happily playing Peggle, minding my own business, listening to a podcast, shut off from the internet as a whole, unless you count the podcast as part of the internet as a whole. And when I was done peggling, stop the snickering in the back, I can hear you, I opened Twitter and went, what? And then I scrolled a bit, and then I went, wait, what? And then I scrolled a bit more, and I was like, wait, what? I can only assume that earlier this year, Disney had a big old boardroom meeting and said, you know what we like? Money. It's worth noting that I won't necessarily be going through the Disney original animations that have been announced, just because that's not really my thing. I mean, it could be, it might be. I'm gonna watch through all of the old Pixar stuff again soon. But they announced a whole bunch of stuff, like the origin story of Buzz Lightyear, and then there were series, or movies, I think it was series though, based around like Moana and all of this kind of stuff. But enough dithering, let's get on with the Star Wars stuff. I'm just gonna scroll through their Twitter feed from the beginning and react to everything. And then after that, we're doing the Marvel stuff, okay? First of all, Rangers of the New Republic, a new original series set within the timeline of The Mandalorian, is coming to Disney+. I guess the space between the 6th and 7th film is just going to be referred to as the timeline of The Mandalorian now then. This seems like a pretty cool concept. It would be fun to see just what the New Republic is actually like. We don't see a lot of that outside of a sequel trilogy, or inside of a sequel trilogy, I should say. It just kind of happens. There was a book about Leia that was set around that time where the New Republic was just starting out, and it was interesting. It dealt with a lot of stuff regarding bureaucracy and all of that, but this seems like it's going to be focusing more on, like the title would suggest, the Rangers of the New Republic. But I don't know, I need to learn more about it obviously before I have any concrete thoughts about it, but it seems fun. My main concern about it is that it does seem like it might be an excuse to give Gina Carano her own series, and she's kind of a transphobic, not very nice person, so hopefully she's not part of that. But a lot of these series seem like spin-offs from what we've seen in this season of The Mandalorian specifically, so I wouldn't be surprised if she was a part of it. If she is, I'm probably not going to watch it, Disney. If you needed any more of a solid reason to maybe avoid her work, she also drinks from the mail-in voting is fraud Kool-Aid and was spreading dangerous disinformation there, so yay. But moving on. Ahsoka, a new original series starring Rosario Dawson and set within the timeline of The Mandalorian, is coming to Disney Plus. Allow me to just take the time to say, watch the Clone Wars, watch the Clone Wars, watch the Clone Wars. Have you watched the Clone Wars? You should watch the Clone Wars. Go and watch the Clone Wars right now. What are you doing? The first few seasons are a little bit, slow. The middle few seasons, they kind of speed things up a bit, and then the last seasons are where that good shit is at. You know what you should do after that? Do you know what you should do after that? Watch Rebels. Watch Rebels. Watch Rebels. And then after that, you should probably watch The Mandalorian or something, I don't know. But yeah, okay, so slight spoilers for the season of The Mandalorian, but it's kind of unavoidable if I want to talk about this. Rosario Dawson showed up as Ahsoka in this season of The Mandalorian, and she was perfect in every single way, and I was gushing about that on Twitter. After that episode, me and I think every other Star Wars fanboy in a Earth-wide radius was going, hey, can Ahsoka get her own show, please? Can we give Rosario Dawson her own Ahsoka show, because she was perfect as Ahsoka and everything about that was perfect, and oh my god. And Disney just went, yeah, okay. Again, a possible storyline for what her show would be about was teased in the episode of The Mandalorian that she showed up in, and it seems like it would kind of follow on from what happened in Rebels, but I am interested because that episode of The Mandalorian struck a really perfect balance between kind of like paying homage to the fans who already know who she is and what her storylines are about, but then also being like, oh hey, if you don't know who Ahsoka is, we're not gonna let you feel left out, we're gonna bring you along for the ride. And I feel like they're gonna have to do that with her entire show, so I'm curious about that. To be fair, I didn't really see how they were going to strike the balance about her with the episode that she was in, and they did that perfectly, so maybe they can carry that through for a whole series. Or maybe they'll just do a series where it's like, hey, you'll probably get more out of this if you're more familiar with the Clone Wars and Rebels first, and that's not such a heinous crime, right, when that's already available on the same streaming service that Ahsoka is. Everything I did for the Rebellion. Andor, an original series set in the Star Wars universe, is streaming in 2022 on Disney+. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you, I hate to be one of those guys, but I am not one of those Rogue One enthusiasts. The first time I watched a movie, didn't really do anything for me. Watched it again recently. Again, was kind of bored the whole way through. Sorry. But that being said, I don't deny that it's probably a great film. It just wasn't for me. Therefore, the concept of creating an entire original series based around a film which was made to fill a gap in the original films, yeah, I'm not really here for it. That being said, I do like Cassian, and if this is going to tell more story about how the rebellion got built at the very beginning of all of it, then sure, I guess I'll watch it. I mean, I'm going to watch all of this, right? I'm already fucking paying for Disney+. Maybe it'll be a sleeper hit, maybe it will blow me away. Okay, here we go. Hayden Christensen returns as Darth Vader, joining Ewan McGregor and Obi-Wan Kenobi. The original series begins 10 years after the dramatic events of Revenge of the Sith and is coming to Disney+. I think this is the first official confirmation that we have about this series. I know it's been rumoured for a long time, but I don't know how to react to this. But I'm incredibly excited. Good lord. We already knew about Ewan McGregor signing on for this, I think. But we did not know, at least as far as... Well, I did not know about Hayden Christensen signing on for this. And I'm very excited about that, especially the fact that he gets to play Darth Vader. Hopefully it will make the transition between edgy Anakin to stoic Darth Vader feel a little bit more interesting. Plus, one of the pieces of extended universe fiction I was always planning to read until it became non-canon, and it kind of spooked me off for that a bit, is the novel about Darth Vader's earliest years, about Anakin coming to grips with being Darth Vader. And I'm really hoping that even though it's set 10 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith, that this series builds on that a little bit. I've been excited for the Obi-Wan Kenobi show ever since it became rumoured, but this is just too much. This is too exciting. I really hope it's good, or I'll cry. But, like, the prequels were my introduction to Star Wars. As much as you can say about them and as much as you can hate them, I loved them. For all of their flaws, I just loved them. The prequels is my era of Star Wars, like, it just is. And by the way, watch the Clone Wars. Have I mentioned watch the Clone Wars? Someone on Twitter said this the other day. It's essentially a developer patch for the prequels that makes them a whole lot better. Watch the Clone Wars. Speaking of the Clone Wars, a sneak peek at Star Wars The Bad Batch, an all-new animated original series from Lucasfilm Animation coming soon to Disney+. Now you might be thinking, here's the part where Christian gushes about the Clone Wars again, but no, I'm not hugely excited about The Bad Batch, I'm sorry. I watched the episodes that they were in. They've already been in Clone Wars episodes and it was basically a pitch, but I kind of think that the whole idea of The Bad Batch gets away from what makes the Clone Wars such a fantastic series in the first place, and that's that it re-explores characters and events that we already know in new contexts, and it changes them. Well, it doesn't change them, it transforms them into, like, you get a better understanding of the story that was happening there, and you get to see more sides of those characters, and it was just great. The Bad Batch, for me, kind of signifies the filler episodes of the Clone Wars, the episodes about... I mean, I shouldn't call the episodes about the Clone Wars filler episodes, filler episodes, because they were good episodes in their own right, but they were certainly the less interesting episodes of the bunch. However, this does also look like they could be used as a vehicle to tell the story of a transition between the Republic and the Empire, which could be really cool. So, I mean, again, I'm definitely watching all of these, but, like, you know, I'm going to hold my judgment and see how it turns out, but the initial pitch for this, I'm not frothing at the mouth for. It just kind of feels like they said, what if we did the Clone Wars again, but without any of the notable characters that made you watch the Clone Wars? Star Wars Visions, an original series of animated short films, celebrates the Star Wars galaxy through the lens of the world's best Japanese anime creators, coming in 2021 to Disney+. I'm sorry, did someone peek into my dreams and be like, hey, we should make those come true, because there should be an official anime take on every franchise out there. That's just, I'm not going back on those words. It should happen. There was a moment in Star Wars The Last Jedi which was anime as fuck. You probably already know what that moment was, and that moment made me go, oh, imagine if Star Wars was an anime though. And here we are. I am really, really excited to see what this is. I can't express enough how excited I am to see these animations. I mean, come on, we already have the laser swords, how much more shonen can you get? Build on that. The galaxy's favourite scoundrel, Lando Calrissian, will return in Lando, a brand new event series for Disney Plus. What's the difference between an original series and event series? Is it like a one season thing? I don't know. I've only just noticed that. I'm going to be perfectly honest, Lando Calrissian has never been my favourite character. I think just the whole scoundrel side of Star Wars in general is possibly my least favourite side of Star Wars, I'm sorry. Like, it goes for Han Solo as well. But hey, it's coming to Disney Plus, so I'm going to watch it. I hope they bring back Donald Glover for that role, because again, you know, I thought Solo was a decent movie. I liked it more than Rogue One, but less than the rest of them. But I think Donald Glover did a pretty damn good job in that movie, and I would watch a series with him in, sure. Leslie Headland brings a new Star Wars series to Disney Plus with The Acolyte. The Acolyte is a mystery thriller that will take viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark-side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. There is quite a lot to unpack in that tweet, but first of all, I'm just going to say I'm still out here living my best life, hoping that the High Republic is not a Disney-safe replacement for the Old Republic. You know? That being said, the High Republic is a brand new era that Disney just invented, of a Star Wars universe that we know next to nothing about, and I am very excited to learn more about it. However, learning about its fall before anything else, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's certainly going to be interesting, but it almost feels like you're telling the end of a story before you tell the start of it. I don't know. But then again, it's almost like if this is like a historical look back at an era, then we learn about the fall of the Roman Empire before anything else, right? So I don't know. I like that we're getting a Sith-oriented show as well. That could be fun. The High Republic era is supposed to be this golden age of the Jedi and light and all that shit, but like watching that fall apart and seeing how the Sith emerge from that could potentially be a really interesting story. Thing is, we don't know if this is live action or if it's CGI or if it's animation or what, so I'm interested to see what this actually is. I almost feel like if they went for the live action route, they would like cripple themselves a little bit in terms of what they can do. If the Acolyte turns out to be Darth Plagueis the Wise, I'm done. I'm out. I know I just said I love the prequels, but shut up. Lucasfilm Animation is teaming up with Lucasfilm's visual effects team Industrial Light and Magic to develop a special Star Wars adventure film for Disney+, a droid story. This epic journey will introduce us to a new hero guided by R2-D2 and C-3PO. Don't care. This is one for the kids. Don't care. Moving on. Willow, an original series from Lucasfilm starring Warwick Davis with pilot directed by John M. Chu, is coming in 2022. This one skirted right past me, potentially because it says almost nothing about what it even is. But if it stars Warwick Davis, then maybe it's going to chronicle his character from the prequel trilogy all the way up to the sequel trilogy. Or not the sequel trilogy, sorry. I don't think he was in the sequel trilogy, but I think he did have a cameo in the original trilogy? So, maybe that's the same character, maybe it's not. I mean, did you want a series based on that character, or are we doing a new thing? I don't know. I have no opinion on this because this isn't anything that we have any information about. Oh hey, they're doing another Indiana Jones that was posted to the Star Wars account for some reason. Indiana Jones takes place in the Star Wars universe, confirmed? A brand new Star Wars feature with acclaimed filmmaker Taika Waititi is in development. Get ready for an unforgettable ride. Again, it's not really an announcement about what the film is, it's just an announcement that they got Taika Waititi. And you know what? That's a decent announcement. I really like Taika, and I hope I'm not pronouncing his name wrong, otherwise that would be really embarrassing. Also, I really hope it's not a High Republic thing. I hope they're like, hey, we're doing High Republic, but you know what else we're doing? The Old Republic, bitches. But then if Taika's doing the High Republic, then maybe I'm listening. I don't know. I don't have any negative opinions towards the High Republic. I just really hope it doesn't replace the Old Republic, that's all. Also, Patty Jenkins seems to be doing some kind of film based around Star Wars Squadrons, so some kind of, like, film based around X-Wing fights, which I don't see how that's gonna really be interesting, but maybe I'm wrong, you know, maybe I'm wrong, could be fun, who knows. And that wraps up the Star Wars portion of this video. Good lord, that's a lot of fucking Star Wars. There are people out there who are saying that Disney are milking Star Wars as a cash cow, and to them I say, yeah, they probably are, but I mean, Disney are saying that they want these things to be created, they're funding them, and they're doing that with the intention of making as much money off of Star Wars as they can. But the people that they're putting in charge of these projects are hopefully people who care about Star Wars stories, and they're not just doing it for a quick cash grab, and all that kind of thing. And so I'm still excited And there's no such thing as too much Star Wars. Get off of that horse, that's a dumb horse to be on. He doesn't even know where he's going. He walked into a wall several times, it was super embarrassing. Okay, I was already aware of all of the Star Wars stuff, but I've barely peeked at the MCU stuff, so here we go, I guess. Oh boy, here we go again. I don't like the amount of scrolling I just had to do. How long is this video? I bet it's really long. I did not expect this video to be this long. The second trailer for WandaVision is out, and it continues to be a show which looks insane. I have no idea what's going on. It gives off Truman Show vibes, and my current theory is that, driven with grief about Infinity War spoilers incoming, the death of Vision, Wanda has conjured up this alternate reality based on old 60s TV shows that they live in, and it's falling apart around them. And I love every second of these trailers, and it's coming out in about a month, and I'm so excited to watch through it and see just what it is and where it goes. Yes. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier looks like an action superhero show that doesn't look like it's going to necessarily do anything new or exciting. But again, seeing as I'm paying for Disney Plus, I will be watching it when it comes out, and hopefully I am proven wrong. But the Captain America side of the MCU has never been my favourite side, and now that Captain America isn't even there, it's just Bucky and Falcon, I'm like, I mean, you know that gif of the old guy who's kind of like doing like on the one hand of an but on the other hand kind of a thing? That's me right now. There's also rumours that the filming conditions for that show have been pretty bad. Some people, or at least one star that I've read about, has come out and said that you don't typically want to support shows who treat their actors, or especially their stunt actors, as replaceable or puts them in harm's way. So I'm really hoping that it's not too bad, because this is Marvel, and you know, you want to watch all things Marvel, don't you? So like, just how hard is it to be good to the people you work with? I don't know. Peyton Reed is back to direct the third Ant-Man film, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer all return. Catherine Newton joins the cast as Cassie Lang, and Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror. Boy, those are all names that I know and recognise and understand. When the first Ant-Man film came out, I was like, man, I don't really care about Ant-Man. And then I watched the film and I was like, that was really cool, that was a great film. And then the second film came out, Ant-Man and the Wasp, I was like, man, I don't know if I really care about Ant-Man. And then I watched it, I was like, man, that film was really fun and good. So I think the third one is probably going to follow that pattern. Okay, so I just watched the trailer for Loki, and I have about 1,000 questions. Most shows, you know, they have a prevailing theme, a prevailing motif, an environment that looks constant. Loki looks all over the place, which is perfect. My best guess is that he's trapped in the multiverse? Or something? Because, I mean, honestly, what the fuck? This trailer does confirm that the show we're getting Loki is about the version of Loki which escaped during the events of Endgame, which was a very time travel wibbly wobbly movie, and I didn't really enjoy the time travel in Endgame. I've got to say, it was a brilliant movie, but the time travel was a little bit weird and non-specific with its rules. But if I was hoping for some explanation as to the time travel weirdness that is Loki escaping after he ostensibly died in Infinity War, then I guess I'm a little bit shit out of luck, because this just looks like it's going to be a confusing ride from start to finish. But that's cool. I watch these trailers and I'm always looking for the television show aspect of it, of the budget isn't as big as a film and they can't go to as many crazy places as a film can. But you know, I think that line is finally starting to blur into nothingness, because I mean, honestly, those shots, those locations, the amount of assets that they must have had to create and build, and just how are they doing this? Disney, what the fuck are you? May 2021 as well. It looks like these are all leading on from each other, which leads me into my next one, which I definitely haven't just watched a trailer for. Marvel's What If looks amazing. Like, I was just talking about how you know, you're limited by budget and stuff, but animation obviously is still limited by budget, but less so when it comes to creating environments and going to lots of different places. So I'm always excited to see just how crazy animated shows can get, and the very concept behind Marvel's What If is awesome. I've never read any of the What If comics, but I know that Marvel Zombies spawned out of What If, and it looks like Marvel Zombies are a part of this What If animated series, which is very, very exciting indeed. It also says it's coming in summer of 2021, so it looks like we're just going to be having a Marvel kind of a year, which is nice because there was like no Marvel this year. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is coming out on July 9th, and I still have no idea what that movie is about, but it's Marvel, so I'm probably going to go and see it. I did not know that they were doing an original series on Ms. Marvel, but that's awesome. I am unfamiliar with the character. I've never read any of those comics, unfortunately, but I want to, and I'm really excited that she's getting her own show, so that's cool. It looks like Ms. Marvel's show and WandaVision, of all things, is going to be tying into Captain Marvel 2, going by the casting choices, or the, I guess, actor announcements. How do you say these things? I don't do a lot of thoughts on movie reaction things, okay? I'm sorry. If you've listened to Pictures Without Pictures, you know that I don't watch a lot of movies outside of nerd stuff, but this is nerd stuff. So hey. Anyway, Captain Marvel 2, baby! Hawkeye is getting his own series, and as the least interesting Avenger, I have to say, She-Hulk is here, and she has her own series too, and also Abomination's gonna be in it, and also Mark Ruffalo will make an appearance. Imagine when you don't have your own Hulk movie, but someone else gets a She-Hulk show that you get to appear in. That's interesting. Again, we really don't know anything about this, but I guess it's cool that it's happening, isn't it? Oh, wait, hold on a second, reverse. Tatiana Maslany is She-Hulk? Oh, okay, now I'm interested. Watch Orphan Black, by the way. Moon Knight is getting his own show too. Oh, okay, we're doing Moon Knight. Woo. Alright, you couldn't have, I don't know, brought back Daredevil instead? I mean, did we have to? Samuel L. Jackson is back as Nick Fury, and Ben Mendelsohn, sorry, I don't know how to say that name, from Captain Marvel returns as Skrull Talos in Marvel Studios' original series, Secret Invasion. Huh. Having just read Secret War about a year ago, to be fair, I have to wonder where they're taking the MCU story with a title like that, but maybe there's no connection. Maybe the word secret doesn't always mean that. Coming soon, TM, to Disney Plus, Dominique Thorne is genius inventor Riri Williams in Ironheart, an original series about the creator of the most advanced suit of armor since Iron Man. That's exciting. I haven't actually read any Ironheart comics, but I saw where I read her origin. I was reading Invincible Iron Man, I want to say, is where that happened. And I think it was after the events of Civil War 2. So it's cool that they're introducing these newer comic book characters to the MCU like that. That's really cool, and I'm excited to see where that goes. Don Cheadle returns as James Rhodes, aka War Machine, in Armor Wars, an original series coming to Disney Plus. A classic Marvel story about Tony Stark's worst fear coming true. What happens when his tech falls into the wrong hands? I think I'm out of reactions. I think at this point we just have to assume that if there's a Marvel comic book story about it, it's either going to be a film or an original series at some point within the next few years. Because, I mean, really, this is just Disney flexing how much money they have at this point, right? Like, don't get me wrong, I love Don Cheadle, he's awesome, but we... in what world do we live in where someone was like, hey, I want to spend budget on making an entire TV show about Iron Man's supporting cast fighting people who have Iron Man suits of armor? Sure, we'll throw money at that. Why not? We're just burning piles of it over here. It's stuff like this which I think would actually make more sense to be a movie, and that's coming from someone who always beats on the drum that series, like original shows, all that kind of thing, they're better for storytelling because they're not limited to a certain amount of time. But this is like, is this really going to go on for like 6 seasons? Does it have that much story in it? I'm not upset about it. I'm excited to see what comes out of it, but I don't know, man, it just seems a little bit excessive. I'm going to stop for lunch now because that's how long I've been talking about Disney announcements. Alright, I've had my corned beef sandwich and my chocolate orange. I'm back now. The Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. Boy, that is going to be a special one, isn't it? How long would something like that theoretically be? I mean, the fact that it's coming out towards the end of 2022 kind of gives you the idea that maybe it's going to be a bigger budget kind of affair, but then also you got to consider the fact that everyone else is super busy with these million other projects that have just been announced, so that could also be why too. Everyone's favourite little tree, Baby Groot, will star in a series of shorts on Disney Plus, featuring several new and unusual characters. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the children love Baby Groot. We're gonna be making a series about Baby Groot. But sir, Baby Groot's teenage Groot now. We established that in the last Avengers movie. It doesn't matter, damn it. We gotta sell toys! I really hurt my hand during that bit. Academy Award-winning actor Christian Bale will join the cast of Thor: Love and Thunder as the villain Gore the God Butcher. Oh damn. I was about to say, is he going to be Balder? But no, he's not going to be Balder. He's going to be Gore the God Butcher. So that sounds fun. I hope he gets to butcher at least one god, you know, otherwise what's the point? John Watts will direct the new feature film for... I'm keeping that in. Feature film for Marvel's first family, Fantastic Four. Too many Fs. So to the best of my understanding, this is another reboot of Fantastic Four. I didn't watch the previous one, but I heard that it got very, very bad reviews. I love the original Fantastic Four movie, but I've never seen Rise of the Silver Surfer, so there's that. In fact, Fantastic Four, the original one, was one of the first superhero movies I ever saw, and it was one of my favourite movies for a very long time. In fact, it probably still is one of my favourite movies. I want to watch that again. If they're doing another reboot of this, I'm guessing they're going to go the Spider-Man Homecoming direction and be like, okay, listen, you know the origin story, you know what this character's about, you know these characters, we're just going to jump right into it. You don't need to be told all of this stuff for a third time. I hope that's what they do anyway. Interesting that they're going to be part of the MCU now. That's very exciting. I gotta say, I do love the Fantastic Four. I do love them. And that's it. That's all of the announcements. Fucking hell. Thank you very much for listening to what turned out to be almost half an hour of thoughts on Star Wars and MCU announcements. Good God, Disney sure were busy this year, even if we didn't know it. They were just busy writing and casting and setting things up so that 2021 can be a very marvellous year. See what I did there?